And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the podcast. I am your host, Deadeye Two Tongues, and with me, as always, is the faithful Fogman.
Hello, everyone.
Fogman, how you been?
I've been busy.
Yeah, same here. I ask you that like I haven't been right next to you.
Forcing me to be busy.
But we're making progress, ladies and gentlemen. We have reached our half of our goal in just actual videos. This would be the fifth, right?
Yes.
So we are half towards our goal of monetization. It's 1,000 to be modified, and then it's however many hours videos get watched that determine your paycheck. It's not like it's about the paycheck, ladies and gentlemen. We enjoy doing what we're doing, but we can bring you good content once we start getting some cheddar here. As a matter of fact, we got our Mothman story.
We have received one Mothman email.
Yes, we did. We received a Mothman email, and we are excited because we live not too far from Point Pleasant, and we intend to go and show you guys the museum, but we also intend on going to do some nighttime spooky investigation.
Bringing Mothman some cheese, because I have a feeling that he likes cheese.
You see, Cody and I have a good guy, bad guy approach to this. Okay, and here's how it's going to go. Cody is going to wine and dine the Mothman. That is what Cody thinks will yield a result. I think publicly shaming Mothman and framing him for things that he has not done will force him to come forward and into the light. So I'm going to just start referring to him as Chomothman, Chomo Mothman. And that's going to be my approach.
I am not sure what kind of cheese. And maybe I'll bring him a lamp.
Oh, yeah, moths do love lamps. Oh. That is a good call.
Cheese and lamp.
Yeah. You could be on the winning side of this right now.
I do have a Mothman voice.
Do you?
Yes, it is.
Is that something you're willing to share with the audience?
I had a Mothman character in mind, and I came up with a Mothman voice.
And what would Mothman's...
Well, hello there. It's me, Mothman. I am very pleased to join you today. Lamp.
I could tell that took a lot of time. I could tell that took an exuberant amount of thought.
I had many hours of driving work back and forth to.
If that's the case, what was the runner-up? Like the other.
That was it. That was the one.
I just honed
dead
down.
on.
You just okay. I was going to say you have to have a runner-up. Can we hear the runner-up too? That'd be.
I don't have one. It just came out of me one day. Mothman himself.
Careful now.
Okay, never mind. I'll stop right there.
Careful.
We already got Goat Man. We don't need Mothman doing stuff.
Right.
Everything I say just comes out like it could be taken a weird way, and I don't like it. Fucking railing in.
We're working towards T-shirts, guys. So if you're on our Patreon, that's some of the stuff that we're posting on there. Some of our T-shirt designs. We're gonna put the one up right here. Airplane controls right here. The Thunder Machine Enthusiast T-shirt. I know, right? It's spectacular.
We're gonna have so many Thunder Machine enthusiasts.
I know, right? Which, by the way, we have to look if there's any internet forums. If it's a real thing, I'm going to shit a brick. I'm gonna actually shit my britches. And then we have the Chomothman design right here. We also want to get plushies made. But how can we do that? How can you guys help us provide things that we can provide you that will in turn provide us with funding? Well, you can go to our Patreon. It's Deadeye Two Tongues 740. You guys can check us out over there. You can also absolutely haunt this like button down here, and you can summon some spooky something with that subscribe button. That would really, really help us. We are quickly gaining speed. It is a good feeling.
I cannot go below 55 miles an hour.
Oh, is this like that? Was that Anthony Hopkins? Nah, it wasn't Anthony Hopkins. It was the other guy.
There's Dennis Hopper, I think. Bad guy in that.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves. Sandy
Yeah.
Bullock.
Oh, God, yeah. Keanu Reeves. Just playing Keanu Reeves like he does in all movies. God, I love that. I love
Yeah.
that guy. Except the only role that he ever played that wasn't like every other Keanu role was Bill and Ted.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, he just started playing Keanu Reeves. He's the same character in John Wick, The Matrix.
What about Dracula?
Oh,
He had
that's
that immaculate
accent.
accent.
Yeah, one of the best. One of the best. Yeah. But so we are recording right now in the midst of a heat wave. We are doing our best. We hope you can't hear all of the air conditioners and everything that are rolling. We got a big vat of Kool-Aid behind us here, but it's in the shape of a skull, so it matches the set. How much did that cost us, Cody? Novelty things such.
I have had it for a long time, and I don't remember how much it costs.
What would you say? You got it from the auction, right?
I think I got it from Target,
Ooh,
or
that's
maybe
pricey.
Walmart. I don't know, after Halloween sales.
I'm just trying to show them how we spend their Patreon money.
We spend it on spooky, random things
Skull-shaped stuff.
and squirrels.
But before we sweat to death, we're going to get into our first story. Thank you guys for coming. If you can, please share this out. Put this on your social medias. Take clips from it. Do whatever. Like we don't care. We just want to saturate the market. We want to saturate the market. We want to be out there. We want to stretch far and out. We want to get to that 1,000 so we can start making some prime content with some donaire. But we're going to dip into our first story right now. This is coming in from Kayla. And Cody, do I get any insight on this at all? Mr. Fogman, screener of the emails.
I know I screened it.
You don't remember?
I don't remember.
Man, we are getting big time. Cody doesn't even remember the emails he's screening because we're getting so many. So many.
I've been so busy. My head is like a bowl of spaghetti.
Yeah. Well, it'll get better as time goes on. We will have people help us manage this stuff. It's coming.
My
Okay.
skull is full of Kool-Aid.
I love that about you. Anyway, we're going to start with our first email. All right, this comes in from Kayla.
Wait, no. I remember now.
What? Remember
Sorry.
what?
It's the Shusher.
The Shusher?
The Shusher. That was the title of the email, and that is what the story is about. Don't ask me.
The Shusher.
I didn't write it.
I've never heard of the Shusher.
Me neither. I think it's probably a personal thing that they named.
Okay. Well,
Just
Kayla,
like milk jug hands.
we're working on that.
The devious,
Yeah.
deceptive garter of sap.
Maple blood. All right, so we got the Shusher apparently coming in from Kayla.
Don't make that face when you say the Shusher. You got to be like, spooked when you hear that.
The Shusher.
This is like, oh God, the Shusher.
All right, I said the last episode that I was gonna come in with like my I was
Deep
gonna
voice
I was gonna come in with the voice.
with the voice.
The voice. Is it picking up on it? Is it?
Gonna be able to do that the whole time.
I'm looking at the levels. Oh, I can do this all day. Oh, absolutely. All right, so we're gonna take the timber down for Kayla's story.
And I will take the timber up.
God help us. All right, here we go. Here's a true story that's given more than a few people goosebumps around the campfire over the years. You like that?
I can't even hear you from here.
What do you mean?
I'm sure the mic can hear you because you're right on it, but I can't even hear you. How am I gonna do my job?
This is what it's like to have a low voice. I have to up my voice so people can hear me in large crowds.
Why are you this way?
I don't know.
Also, you're not like you're talking away from. I don't know.
It still hears me.
Yeah, just do it. Just
Shut
do
up.
it.
Okay, shut up. God damn. Now I'm insecure. About it. Okay. Well, it was a dark and stormy night. Yeah, I know. Cliche as hell. But it really does set the tone. I was living in my then boyfriend's grandma's basement. Double whammy. We were sound asleep, our giant Labrador curled up on the floor next to us. As the storm picked up outside, I was jolted awake by the loud crack of thunder. Feeling a little bit annoyed, I stretched and looked around, but as my eyes landed on the foot of the bed, I froze. What do you think it is? Well, you know it's a shusher, but what is a shusher? This is like giving me, if I were to think of a shusher, it would be Miss Brooks' 11th grade study hall. That woman was blind as a bat, but she could hear anything. And she would shush. I'm thinking of Miss Brooks at the end of my bed, shushing me.
Do it.
I'll do it. Standing there was something that completely paralyzed me from head to toe. I blinked a few times, thinking I must be seeing things, because what I was seeing couldn't possibly be real. But when I looked again, he was still there. Shh. A man, tall, thin, and soaked to the bone. Okay, wait. Soaked? He's wet?
A wet man. We keep getting weird wet people. We got an oily man, and now we got a soaked man.
I guess depending on the lighting is wet or oily. Are you sure this wasn't an oily boy?
Oh my God, we're just...
Oh my God, he jumped stories.
Oily man has returned.
The oily boily has returned.
Oily boily.
Ah!
No, but if I saw a wet man just standing at the edge of my... I don't know, what do? Do you ask him why he's wet? Or you just assume he came in out of the storm?
Well, listen, she's describing this story, and like the first descriptive aspect of this guy is that he's wet. He's a wet man. It's not like he had a menacing grin, or he was pale, or dressed finely, dressed sharply, you know? Nothing. It was wet. Huh. I wouldn't take kindly to that.
Stay strapped.
Yeah, right. Roll up out of bed. Bed's about to get a lot wetter, boy. Back to the story. He wore a red and black plaid shirt that looked like it had been through hell, just hanging off him like it didn't belong. His hair was long and scraggly, matted at his forehead. His cheeks were sunken, and he was staring directly at me. My first thought was, where's my dog? I don't know if that would have been my first thought. I don't know about that. I'd have been kicking. I've been like, who the fuck are you? Kicking that sumbitch off my bed. Afterthought. This dude probably killed my dog. Because where is
I hope
my
we
dog?
don't get stories like that. I want...
Motherfucker, you killed my dog. I'm going to John Wick.
Yeah.
My first thought was, where's my dog?
Hold on a second. This seems like it's going to be a very Keanu Reeves themed episode for some reason.
What do we do?
I don't know how we did this, but we're doing it.
What do we do? All right. My first thought was, where's my dog? Why isn't he barking? I wanted to glance down to check, but I was too afraid to move. It was so dark, I couldn't even make him out. And before you ask, why isn't she screaming her fool head off? Believe me, I've asked myself the same thing 100 times. Maybe some sleep paralysis type thing?
I mean, yeah, if it's not a person and it's like some sort of entity that has the power to do this kind of thing, then
I'd roll over, I'd check, is my partner there? Yes, there they are. You know, secondary, it'd be like, I don't recognize that plaid shirt if that is my partner. You know,
yeah.
Where's my dog? Why are you oily? Why are you on my bed?
Not oily, it's just wet.
Yeah, I guess there is a distinct difference there. But I'd already pulled out, the 9 from, my my desk, whatever, or my fucking bed mantle or whatever. I already had it out, or from underneath my pillow, whatever.
Sounds like they need a nightlight at this point. If it's so pitch black, Even it's like,
You do got to give some credit here too that she's coming out of a sleep.
yeah,
You know. Yeah.
coming out of sleep to instantly be terrified.
Well, let's keep going. I turned back to the figure. He was still there, watching me. Water was dripping from his clothes, pooling on the floor. His features were shadowed, blacked out, but I could still feel his stare. So we did make the distinction that this is water. Just now. He's not an oily boy. Thank God.
We'd have to start looking into that. I mean, what if Oily Man was just a wet man and it was just dark and he couldn't tell? It was
Not a
him?
chance. Not a chance. Story was too convincing.
You just don't want to give up on saying oily boy.
Oily boily. All right. My heart was pounding. I was sweating, frozen with fear, not sure what to do next. I started to roll over, desperate to wake up my boyfriend. But just as I shifted, the man raised one bony, twisted finger to his lips and shushed me. There it is.
That's kind of rude.
Yeah, you're in my house, motherfucker.
But still very scary.
Man, I'd whoop the fuck out of this motherfucker. Shush me. Shush me. And your fucking hipster ass.
Almost like a warning, though. Like
Wet plaid demeanor.
sounds like a warning, though, doesn't it? Like if she was about to like wake her boyfriend or whatever. And
Oh, you think this guy's like an agent of good?
well, no, but
If your boyfriend
Like-
wakes up, like he'll have an aneurysm. Or like he's actually a
like
hero.
no, if she does wake him up, something bad's gonna happen.
I mean, catch 22 on that.
Like
Like, hey, don't wake him up, or else like I'll do way more than shush ya. I think that's what it is. Fear of consequence.
I don't
No,
know.
no, I will not be shushed.
I feel like it was almost like maybe she was the only one supposed to see that, and then I don't know, because the dog also didn't notice. You know,
Where is the dog?
I thought it was sleeping still.
I ain't see
She not
nothing.
okay. I don't know.
Mm-mm.
Where's the dog?
Dog's gone.
Dog gone.
Doggone it! And he shushed me, like he was saying, "Don't do it, homie." All I could think to do was pull the blanket over my head and pretend I hadn't seen any of it. I laid there, breathing hard, praying he'd be gone. Eventually, I worked up the courage to peek out. He was in fact gone, vanished, like he had never been there. The door was still closed, no sound, no footsteps, no nothing. I looked down, and there was my dog, still peacefully asleep beside me. Hallelujah!
I would. Does it? Is that it right there, or is that keep
No,
going?
no, no.
Like,
I'm
I
just
would be
really excited
interested-
the dog's still
Yeah, I
alive.
know. I'd be interested. Is there a puddle where he stood?
Let's see.
And then you're thinking if he's wet, there's got to be like, I don't know if the floor is carpet or hardwood or whatever, but there should be wet footprints.
Mm,
And then if not, the fuck
yeah.
is this just like a
Well, it says,
phantom wet boy?
to this day, I have no idea what I saw. An intelligent spirit, someone out to get me. How many times had he watched me before that night? Needless to say, I didn't sleep again that night. And yeah, it still haunts my dreams. Oily boilies will do that. I'm just going to keep...
I'm just gonna keep saying oily boily.
I'm running forward with it. That's spooky.
That's eerie.
So what do you think the wet meant? You think this was a
Could
drowning?
mean anything.
Like a,
It could be just a spirit that, you know.
anytime you watch
drowned.
those like paranormal shows and stuff like that, like how a ghost appears, like, oh, he looked to be on fire, or headless, or it's almost like a testament to like how they passed. If you were
Yeah,
to if you were to
like-
keep that same logic in this instance,
And his clothes had been through, maybe, yeah, his clothes had been through hell, it said. Looked like. He's soaked, so maybe he
drown. I mean, she
drowned.
said dripping.
And then it was storming outside, so maybe there was a correlation with he died in a storm or something.
We didn't get a follow up on whether or not there was like a puddle on the floor.
That's what I was wondering.
And she did say this essentially was the first time, because she said how many times had he been there watching before.
If she could see the water dripping off of him, and then after he was gone, there was just nothing. Like the
Right.
water was gone and everything. That would be something.
Right. But if there was water,
There was
there,
a puddle.
what if it was a
And that's
real person?
Even weirder. That's what I was saying. The tracks, like if there's tracks leading somewhere, but she also didn't hear anything. And the door was closed and all that, so it doesn't sound like.
Regardless,
It doesn't sound like it could have been a real
creepy.
person without her knowing it, really.
Yeah, but
Me. And then the dog still just didn't even.
chilling, peaceful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like no aggressiveness to the dog. Dog didn't even bother to growl, bark, nothing. So what do you think the Shusher?
I would be leaning towards some sort of spirit that.
Do you think there was a significance to her like not waking him up?
It seemed like a warning almost to me.
But
I don't know why. I don't know.
Kayla,
Weird.
if you are in the comment section, if you are in the live chat, which by the way, guys, every time we air an episode, we are in the live chat. You can go check that out. You can converse and chat with us down there. Kayla, if you are here right now, can you give us any sort of afterthought on what you think might have been a symbolism to what you saw that night? And let's hear it in the chat. What do you guys think it was? This is kind of ambiguous.
If I had to write a whole like backstory for what I thought it was,
The Shusher.
the Shusher, I would say a spirit that was either caught out in a storm and died, or drowned, one or the other.
Yeah. Interesting,
And
to say the
maybe-
least.
During these thunderstorms, I would guess it would be in the immediate area.
Yeah.
I could, Kayla, could look into local news stories and things like that, like the history, and see if there had been any deaths
Yeah. Totally.
around the area.
You know what else is interesting?
But then you'd have to find the weather and all that. It would be.
Anytime that I've ever had like a paranormal experience, like I've always seen like any sort of apparition in like a black and gray. I've never really seen color. She's like, especially at night, she's like there was a red and black plaid shirt. The fact that she was able to pick up on the red and black, even in like, I'm assuming a dark room. Like there could be all sorts of significance to that. And there's also significance to our sponsor.
Save 25% with code TEAPARTY until July 5th.
Thank you to our sponsor. That's right. You guys can go to hellfireholler over here.com. Every one of our products has an in-depth write-up on its intended use, how it can benefit you, if you would like to go check that out. Also, if you guys have not yet, please consider going down here and throwing some holy water on that subscribe button and haunting the like button. That would be absolutely amazing. We're going to move on to our second story of the night. This comes in from a fella named Bob. It's a good name. It's a good name, Bob. Withstood the test of time, that one. People still naming their kids Bob. Good, strong name.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah. Not as strong as Cody's name. Cody, tell him your middle name.
Og.
Tell him your middle name, Cody.
No.
Come on.
Then they'll want to know more.
What do you mean? It's a good middle name.
I don't know about this.
All right. Let us guess his middle name here in the comment section.
Play a game with it.
It's a glorious. I wish mine.
Now you're gonna set it up. You're gonna set the bar too high, and then when it's
maybe
revealed,
you set the bar too low.
You're gonna when it's revealed, they're all gonna be like, "Duh."
No way.
Fire him. Fire his ass.
No way. No way. One of the best middle names I've ever heard in my life. Anyway, 20 bonus points in the chat if you can guess Cody's middle name.
20 bonus points? You know how hard it is to make a bonus point, and we're just giving away 20?
No, we're not just giving it away.
Good gravy.
People are deep diving you right now, Cody.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. All right, so before I get into this, Cody, is there any sort of warning? Oh, okay, so 2018, so this is relatively new.
This one had a lot of stuff going on.
Oh, this is one story. It's
a hefty one.
And you shrunk down the print too. Ooh, strap in, guys. Strap in. This is a long one coming in from Bob. So, I skimmed the page and I saw UFO. Woo doggy. This is a first on the show right here. This is a first. Bob, thank you for writing in. By the way, before we start, you can write in at hellfirehollerpodcast@gmail.com. Share your stories with us to be read here on the podcast. On a Monday in mid-December 2018, in the early hours of the morning, maybe around 3 a.m., I got up for work. I gathered my belongings and stepped out into the cold. The air was still. At the time, I was 40 years old. I had served in the Army, both on active duty and in the reserves, and I'd completed 2 tours in Iraq. After my second deployment, I came home, I got married, had my first child, I'd eventually have 2 daughters, and bought a house in the South Shore area of Massachusetts. The town I live in borders Plymouth, the area rich with historical significance, the landing of the Mayflower, King Philip's War, the bloodiest war on American soil per capita from 1675 to 1678, and of course, the infamous Bridgewater Triangle. That's where people report seeing puckwudgies, Bigfoots, UFOs, and all sorts of spiritual activity. Now, if you're like me, you're probably wondering, what the fuck is a puckwudgie? So, for your convenience, this is a puckwudgie. It's adorable.
Small human-like creature that lives in the woods.
Yeah, that's what greeted the folks on the Mayflower. They got greeted by puckwudge. The puckwudgels. Puckwudgelsworth. Cute little
Hopefully
things.
they weren't oily puckwudgie.
Nothing worse than an oily puckwudgie. You know what's worse than a puckwudgie?
A shushing puckwudgie?
A fuckwudgie.
A puckwudgie?
It's like the fuck boys of puckwudgies. Back to the story. And right next to my house, an old cemetery with the headstones dating back to the mid-1700s. There's even a Revolutionary War soldier buried there. Backing up a bit, I'd been hearing and seeing things for a while, coming home from war, adjusting to family life, and then dealing with things I couldn't explain. Hallucinations, figures darting past, voices calling out. It was all starting to wear on me. Even though I'm married, I usually spend a lot of time alone, so when something weird happens, I don't really have anyone to turn to for confirmation. I don't have the, hey, did you see that? Or did you hear that too? Well, no. Bob, that's a silly question to ask. No matter what around here, if you go, did you hear that? Cody and I are going to go, no.
Unless it's a puckwudgie.
Yeah, well, everyone knows that. Standard paranormal rule. You always party with the puckwudge. T-shirt. I partied with the puckwudgies. We're going to have the coolest T-shirt collection. Oh, it's going to be great. I tried to work through my issues with creativity, gardening, homesteading, woodworking. I'd rather stay busy than rely on the VA's endless supply of medications. The meds don't help. They just turn you into a zombie. I would see figures running through the backyard. One time I even chased them, and I found nothing. No signs anyone had been there. I'd hear screaming sometimes, screaming my name, sometimes calling for help. One time I heard a child screaming in distress. I panicked, thinking it was one of my daughters. I ran into the house yelling for my wife. Where are the girls? Are they okay? She said, yeah, they're right here. They're fine. I asked, why were they screaming like that? She said they weren't. I felt panicked and I felt foolish, adrenaline pumping. I stepped back outside.
Yeah, that'd be a tough thing to do because, well, I'd say first off, thank you for your service.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you do experience like a paranormal thing, then how many people would just write it off as like PTSD or something like that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, with the VA, I mean, they might be avoiding like giving you any sort of credence of like anything, you
Yeah.
know, like they don't want to pay out, they don't want to help you,
Yeah.
you know. But you know, yeah, you make a really good point. You know, would you be battling internally, thinking to yourself that maybe the scars of war had impacted, you know, your everyday thinking, you know, your sanity, you know, what a struggle. And thank you, Bob, for your service. Everybody in the comment section, everybody in the live chat, give it up for Bob. Give him a hell yeah and a thank you. I often stay outside when I get overwhelmed. My energy can be too much for my family. And when weird things happen, it leads to arguments. So I retreated to the yard just to keep busy. That morning, though, was especially rough. We had just buried someone from my unit over the weekend, so I was already on edge. High stress, anxiety, very little sleep. When I stepped into the cold, clear morning air, I looked up. The sky was beautiful, clear, starry, full moon shining bright. Visibility was excellent. As I walked down the driveway to my truck, I heard a guttural scream from across the street. It sounded like a child in distress, high-pitched but with a gravelly edge. It cut right through me. I froze about 15 feet from my truck. The scream had come from beyond my neighbor's house. As I looked over the roof line, just above the tree line, I saw what looked like a shooting star. What do you think, Cody? What do you think's about to happen?
I don't know. I guess wait to see if you hear anything else.
The night's perfectly clear. It looks like a shooting star. I don't know, but a shooting star goes away real quick. Just leaves you in wonder.
Yeah, but you're hearing the scream.
Seeing a light in the sky. I hit the ground. It was an instinct. For a moment, I thought it was an incoming mortar. Ooh, that's rough, buddy. After collecting myself and realizing it wasn't an attack, I stood up. I shook it off, and I tried to make sense of it. Then I heard the scream again, from the same direction. Still confused, I got into my truck. I started it and began driving to work. Just driving to work? That'd leave me rattled.
Yeah,
That would leave me absolutely
but
rattled.
it's. He's already heard that his own daughter's thought scream before, and
Yeah.
that wasn't.
Good
And
point.
now he's hearing a
Good point.
more scream. So it's like, do I investigate this and
Just
possibly?
gets to the kind of robotic, just, you know, like all factors, you know, being taken into account, you know, probably just like a normal day at this point. But you got to go to work at the end of the day. You know, it's just it's crazy. You can feel that Bob is kind of loose-minded. This is all causing him a great deal of something, and I don't think he has any inclination that it is anything beyond his own brain at this point.
It'd be hard to tell because you got people that aren't hearing this and already telling you like, oh,
Yeah.
there was no scream or whatever, and it's like,
Yeah. Despite the freezing air, I left my driver's side window down. The sound had come from the left, so I wanted to keep an ear out. I was driving slowly, maybe 10 miles per hour, wondering what to do. Do I call the police? Do I knock on the neighbor's door? Do I just investigate myself? About 50 yards down, there's an access road to some cranberry bogs. About a mile back, that road cuts between two houses with signs that say, "Do not enter," and "private property." The direction lined up with where I heard the scream, so I turned left. So at this point, he's investigating. He's leaving for work. He can't shake it. He's investigating. He's breaking all the rules. He's going down roads that say don't enter. The hero, the fucking hero, is coming out of this man right now. He's going to get to the bottom of that shit. I think I'd do the same thing. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to think of different ways to investigate it, but I'm definitely probably,
Drone.
yeah, maybe.
I could see you setting up. I could see you. I mean, using your head. You know, like I could see you sitting on a drone, try to pick up on what's going on. I could see you getting some great footage too, like you did with those dolphins in Florida. Shit was primo.
Don't talk to the dolphins.
Yeah, we didn't. We talked to that insider though. He was definitely a human on a park bench. I drove slowly down the dirt road, high beams on, eyes wide, scanning everything. Past the residential property line, I came across a large, dirty berm, kind of like a wall, marking the edge between homes and the bog owner's land. Beyond the berm was a small clearing, maybe 30 yards, between the berm and the woods. I pulled into the clearing and stopped. Grass crunched underneath the tires. High beams stayed on. I stepped out. Woo! Inserting yourself into a situation, a dangerous situation. Notice how articulate these moments stick with you so hard. You think on them. I mean, because your storytelling right here, Bob, is great, man. You're really painting the picture. You know, but I just find it funny that whenever we get a good story, it's almost as like this has like haunted the caverns of the human brain of this person for so long. You get so descriptive, you can like literally transport people into the moment, and it's so good. So good. In the back of my mind, I was hoping someone saw me turn down the dirt road and would call the cops. I thought about calling myself, but didn't know how I would explain it. If the police showed up on their own, I could just say, I heard something. I was just checking it out. Just keep it simple. As soon as I stepped out, I felt it, a presence. I was nervous, not scared, but keyed up, unsure of what I'd find, and I called out, "Hello!" a few times. "Hello!" No answer. I began walking the perimeter of the clearing, imagining I'd find a child curled up on the ground. Ooh, that's the gut feeling. So it's a child. Yeah, no wonder why the protector, the hero, kicked in, Bob. And you're the type of person that already threw yourself into the service to help strangers. So no wonder you are taking these advansive actions. The grass frosted under the December cold. It stood about 2.5 feet tall, but was drooping like ice. I checked for footprints. Nothing. No movement at all. Aside from the tracks I was making myself. Still, the image of the child curled up in the grass was so vivid in my mind. I kept searching, calling out, now and then, to make my presence known. I walked the entire edge, no response, no more screams, no movement. But I still felt watched. As I made my way back to the truck, I opened the driver's side door with my left hand. My right hand faced away from the truck. Why do I feel like that's going to be very significant?
Sounds like, yeah, something's coming.
Right? You don't get that specific in a story. I'm just wondering, I'm trying to figure out what it is before it hits, because that was oddly specific. Okay, the next line. That's when it happened. A child jumped on me, grabbed my right shoulder tight. I looked down and saw him. His hands gripped at my jacket, and I could feel his weight holding me in place. I looked deep into his eyes. There was no distinct color, more like dark or beige, but I could see the detail and definition. His eyes were wide, full of fear and desperation. He never said a word. He just stared up at me, clinging to me and my shoulder. Then he was gone, just like that.
What do you mean gone?
Yeah, right?
Did he just evaporate or?
Yeah. Bob, if you're in there, give us a description of what it was like when he disappeared.
Ooh, first moment there, I thought we were dealing with one of the black-eyed children thing.
Same, and I thought we were dealing with UFOs. Like, what's going on? It's a twister. Twisted me up. This is a good one.
creepy though. I don't know what to do there. Well, it'd be like, okay, I found the kid, or the kid found me, needs help. But then like, oh, he just disappeared.
Yeah. And then,
Now what?
well, then Bob realizes that the child was not the only thing to disappear. His wallet's gone.
And just
That little
got
shit.
mugged.
That little bastard stole my wallet. I'm gonna put it like that little bastard stole my wallet.
Start taking liberties with people's stories. And
he had a identity theft. 2 weeks later, child's like ran up his credit cards. Son of a bitch. Back to the story. There was no fate. Look, he like answers it. If we just would have been patient and read, he like completely describes like this thing.
Never mind, Bob. Got it.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you for being so in depth. There was no fade out, no blur. He was there, and then he wasn't. Like,
Oof.
spooky. His weight vanished from my shoulder. I stood there for a few moments, stunned. Then I slowly got into my truck. I turned around and made my way back to the main road, still half hoping someone would report me so I wouldn't feel so crazy. I didn't call the police. What would I even say? I can't call it a hallucination. I felt the kid on my shoulder. I saw his eyes. I know it was real. I heard the screaming 2 more times after that morning. Final paragraph. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen?
Hope we can get. I hope he can get some
Peace of mind?
peace of mind. Yeah, if somebody else sees it, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope somebody else sees it, and then he can get some peace of mind that not
Yeah.
the only one.
But then that also confirms like that there's
Yeah, but I think it's better to
have the solace.
to know it's not your brain
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
malfunctioning. Possibly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, let's hope for that. About a month later, I finally spoke to a shaman. I told her everything I had been experiencing. She agreed to come to the house and walk the property. She told me she encountered the spirit of a child. I wonder if he told her ahead of time or not. That would be creepy. If she walked in herself with no like predisposition and came back and said it was a child, that would be exactly.
I hope it was like that.
Yep. Said she encountered the spirit of a child and was able to help him cross over. She believed it was the same child I had met that morning. She said he came to me for help because I'm sensitive to this type of energy.
Definitely seems like that.
For sure. She also said my land carries a lot of energy. It's very old. And with the cemetery next door, it acts as a kind of supernatural magnet. I joked that maybe buying a house next to a graveyard wasn't such a great idea. She said, no, because of the soldiers buried there, and because you are a soldier, they help keep anything negative away. Wow. You never really think about, your companionship and everything that you have in the military. And if we are addressing and talking about the great beyond and ghosts and ghoulies and, like not just that, what about almost guardian angels? That's a beautiful thing she said. And I hope that hit you and makes you feel as safe and protected there, Bob, as I think it would, I think that that's a really beautiful thing that she said.
I'd almost say that because he said it was a joke that maybe it wasn't a good idea to buy property next to it, but maybe he was the perfect person to.
Yeah, maybe it was destiny, Since the shaman's visit, I haven't heard the screams again, so I hope he's found his peace. And if he has, maybe I have too. But thank you for listening, Bob.
Okay.
Bob, thank you for writing in. Thank you for your service. And, I hope that you are surrounded by those that you served with. And not just that, soldier's code, man. Any soldier buried in there has to have all the love, admiration, respect for you that we do here at the Near Death Diary podcast. What a beautiful story. I really thought that we were going UFO.
I didn't know where we were going.
I did. I mean, you see the all capital letters U, F, and O on a piece of paper, and you're like, yeah. But pleasantly surprised. I wonder what that child was reaching out for.
Yeah, I'm surprised the shaman didn't have any. Well, I mean, maybe it wasn't.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't share that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Details on what its problem was.
Yeah.
But at least it seemed to have been given peace, and Bob also hasn't heard it again. So
Maybe
gotten
Bob
peace.
was just supposed to bring the shaman.
I think
Could-
it felt.
Could have been as simple as that. Bob was supposed to live next to that graveyard. He was supposed to, get the camaraderie of, his brethren. He's supposed to be that perfect person
Well,
who's
it definitely
protected.
sounded like whatever it was, the child felt safe
Yeah.
and everything with Bob, and that's why he was allowed.
Maybe I would like to think that the child was wandering, not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
Uh,
Who knows?
came across Bob.
I don't know the timeline on like how long had that child been there,
Yeah, who
haunting
knows?
this area, and then Bob comes along.
Bob, if you're watching,
and
have you
basically saves this child?
ever looked at that area, that location, maybe seen if there was a child that fits the bill, fits the description of that area? That's so you got to kind of have some balls to do that shit, though.
Do the
Like,
research and try to figure out the truth of everything.
yeah, because then you see it and you're like, "Fuck, it's real."
I
It's
we already kind of figured out that it was real.
oh yeah. Well, I mean, I
At this
believe,
point, you're
but as far as like I don't know. I mean, you're writing into a podcast. You definitely believe it with your whole gusto. You're putting it out there, but it's just putting a name to something. I
Yeah.
think it's putting. It's time for a word from our sponsors. Do you feel like dog shit? Do you have like a plethora of problems going on, whether it be cognitive issues, headaches, anxiety, stress? Well, we have a solution for you over here at hellfireholler.com. In 2017, someone blew my face off with a shotgun. It was a pretty ugly fucking mess, and my whole life went into a tailspin. I was being prescribed different medications that were truly ruining my life quality further and eliminating my ability to think and retain memory. That's whenever I took control and started diving into the world of plants and fungi and became a phyto and mycochemist. Now I make products for people all over the country with great reviews and great success. If you would like to step outside of the world of great pharma and try Hellfire Holler products, why don't you go to hellfireholler.com. We'll see you there. Much love. Stay wild. All right. Thank you, sponsors. Thank you so much. How
what a coincidence.
devilishly handsome that dude is in that commercial.
I was gonna say they look awfully familiar.
Other ways you guys can support us other than going to hellfireholler.com and checking out our awesome and fantastic, well-reviewed, well-received herbal supplement products. As you can go and you can make a pledge on Patreon. It could be anything. It can be 50 cents, $1. We don't care. Just any little bit really helps, guys. Patreon is Deadeye Two Tongues 740. You can check that out. We'll put that down in the comments. You guys can find that. Also, just follow us on social media. Share, like, and subscribe. It's pretty easy, guys. It takes about 2 seconds of your time. Really makes a big difference in the analytics of these videos.
And drink water.
Yes, especially during the heat waves. Boy, howdy. It's hot. So on to our third story for the night. This one comes in from Dave Rourke.
Dave what?
Rourke. Mr. Dave Rourke. You skimmed it. Nothing? You gonna do me like that?
You're gonna like it.
I'm gonna like it. Do I get any clue on like cryptid or anything?
Nope.
On to our third story. Guys, smash that like button and get your entire family to subscribe. That'd be amazing. This story is titled An Encounter.
Hmm.
All right. right, let's get into it.
Just a strictly oily boily story.
We've got an oily,
From
boily,
an oily boily.
3-page story.
I was a teenage oily boy.
I love that. Every spring for years, I've taken a week off from work and gone up into the Alberta backcountry with my old man and my friend Sean. We camp out near the site of a recent forest fire to hunt for morel mushrooms. Smart. Yeah, you're looking for black caps. A lot of people call those char caps, fire tops. Yeah, I think that's esculata. Morchella esculata, I believe. Now, there's going to, of course, be more than... I digress for another video. If you've ever tasted fresh morels... Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah, I have! This is going to be hard to get through.
I would just be daydreaming about morels now.
Yeah, right? We have those frozen ones in the fridge. We can get down.
Later, we're gonna... After the story, we shall eat...
If you've ever tasted fresh morels, you understand the obsession. They only grow in these burned areas for a year or two after the fire, and when they come in strong. It's like finding treasure. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. It was May 2022. We were near a year-old burn scar north of Nordic. My dad, in his 60s now, but still sharp and sturdy. Sean and I are both almost 40. We'd set up camp in a clearing surrounded by blackened spruce and pine skeletons, with little tufts of green just starting to reclaim the earth. The forest was eerily quiet out there, like the fire had taken not just the trees, but something deeper.
Sounds like a good spot.
Yeah,
Camp,
absolutely.
too. And find mushrooms.
Yeah, controlled burns are absolutely amazing.
We got to get up to Canada and do some morel hunting.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I've never left the country, actually. Yeah, never been to Mexico.
Left a couple. I've gone to Canada and I've gone to Mexico, but it was before. I'm pretty sure it was pre 9/11 when they cracked down on all the passport stuff.
Yeah, I've been told that I should probably get mine, but I've yet to leave the country. And I am, though, traveling more and more. And hopefully we will be traveling an awful lot more.
This podcast worldwide.
Right? I mean, right as of right now.
Hold on. This is our first, I think, right? Is it the first out of country story?
Is it?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh my God, we have to celebrate. Oh, but what I was saying was our Patreon, we've already almost accumulated, I think it's $300 a month that we can rely on. How much is a car payment for a conversion van? What, 800? Something like that?
I have no idea.
What I'm saying is we're getting close. And then content sky's the limit. That's just a self-feeding system. You know, just recording, doing stuff, upping the content. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I digress. I'm just excited. It's working.
Want to ride a Loch Ness Monster.
Same. I want to see Aleister Crowley's like little lakeside, haunted place where he apparently opened up portals, and then Jimmy Page bought it from Led Zeppelin. Like, what the fuck? Back to the story. The first couple nights were uneventful. We drank a bit of whiskey, cooked some of the day's haul over the fire, told the same old stories, and passed out under the stars. On the third night, things changed. There's 3.
Oh yeah, 3 again.
It's always coming in 3s, man.
What are we thinking? What are we thinking's coming? They're out in the woods.
An encounter?
Way out there.
The story's called The Encounter, or An Encounter. I'm gonna go with, because I was jazzed about it, I'm gonna say that this is a outer worldly, this is a UFO.
Be a spot for it.
I think so. Okay. On the third night, things changed. We had just finished dinner, and we were sitting around the fire. It was cold enough to see your breath, which was odd for late May. We were talking around the fire when something caught Sean's eye. "What the hell is that?" he said, pointing just above the tree line. There was a light, bright white, almost bluish, not flickering, like firelight, not warm, but like lantern light. It pulsed, high up in the trees, like something suspended above them. It wasn't moving much, just sort of hanging there. "Is that a helicopter?" my dad asked. But there was no sound, no whisper of blades or an engine, just silence, and then this, hovering brilliance lighting up the tops of the trees like daylight. And then it was just gone. No fade out, no zip across the sky. 1 second it was there, the next it wasn't. We didn't sleep very easily that night.
Say so.
I mean, is there any calmness that you could get from something like that?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, it's not snarling, it's not terrifying. He even described it as almost beautiful.
Would you just hope that whatever it was, like, didn't notice you there?
I would be praying that it's an angel, something of an angelic force, you know, something. I would be. What I'm saying is, I'm trying not to shit my sleeping bag, and I'm praying that it's something good. You know, that's what I'd be doing. The next morning, we all admitted to feeling off, tired, disoriented, but none of us could put a finger on why. No one mentioned dreams. That day, we went deeper into the woods, found a good patch of morels, and tried to shake off the weirdness.
That'd do it.
Night, yeah, But that night, night 4, it happened again.
Oh no.
It's happening again!
I love all these stories, and they all end up with, and then it happened, or, and then,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
similar, and it's like, oh, here we go. The meat.
Yeah. I mean, we got some great storytellers in our community. And I hope after you're done telling your story and you're done having your story on here, I hope you stick around to hear other people's. I think people are possibly learning from other episodes,
Yeah.
you know, and like getting down with the vibe. That's awesome. We turned in sometime after 10, and I was awoken not long after falling asleep, cold and rigid, like my entire body was paralyzed. I could move my eyes, but nothing else. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't. I couldn't even make a sound. I could see the walls of my tent glowing, lit up from the outside, like someone had parked a stadium light right next to it. And then it was gone. So it's getting closer.
Yeah, it definitely knows you're there.
Yeah, it's getting closer, and now
Investigating.
it's having a direct impact on
And
your
it seems to have the power to
paralyze.
paralyze. Like, how many stories have we gotten that are like that?
Yeah, more than likely, I would say some frequency weapon, some vibration. It's running through you, so low it's silent, just keeping you there, stuck. When I was finally able to sit up, I felt like I'd only been asleep for a few minutes, but my watch, it said it was nearly 4 a.m. Ooh.
Oh no.
So when did it happen? Maybe around 3 a.m.?
Got time loss.
Yep. In the morning, Sean and my dad looked like hell, pale, shaky. We danced around it for a while, making coffee, all trying to act normal. Then my dad rolled up his sleeve. There were 3 perfect circles on his forearm, red like burns. Sean had the same circles on his stomach. I had them on the back of my thigh. None of us remembered anything. Well, not exactly. But when we really tried to remember, we all described the same thing. A vision, like in a dream. Floating, somewhere dark but peaceful, surrounded by these long, graceful shadows moving past us like fish underwater. A strange hum, comforting, almost beautiful. Then nothing.
3 dots.
These, yeah.
3, 3, 3, 9 total.
Yeah, these boys, they got
Time loss. Odd memories. Synchronized memory. Yeah, I would say we're abducted.
we should have left. I think we all wanted to leave, but we didn't. Call it stupidity or arrogance, but I think it was more of us trying not to believe that anything had happened, and it was in all of our heads. Or worse, we were hypnotized to not leave, like whatever was out there wasn't done yet. It's very hard to describe it, put it into words. That night, night 5, it came back.
Oh, man,
Oof.
this is bullshit. You're out there like
You
camping,
have
just in the
to
ultimate wilderness, and you're mushroom hunting.
Oh
and now,
yes,
all
someone's
of a sudden,
interrupting your morel
someone's
season.
interrupting your morel season. That's
Yes,
God.
something is jacking up your morel season right now. I would be pissed. I wouldn't be able to focus.
no. But yeah,
It's like the real horror part of the story. Yeah. They're like, this is like day 5. They've been probed. They've been prodded. They've been like
They stole all their
experimented on.
morels.
They stole their fucking morels. You mother. Oh, I'd be pissed. This time, the night was stronger. It filled the whole sky. Behind the trees, there was no shape, no sound, just this glowing wall of white that seemed to reach into the heavens. We stood outside the tents, mouths open, the fire crackling behind us. I remember the moment my legs stopped working. They just locked up, and I remember that feeling of being lifted, like the world dropped away underneath my feet. But I don't remember coming back down. So they're still describing, like, what's happened.
well,
you know,
it's weird because
5.
the other nights, whatever it was, the one night they were asleep,
Mm.
and now they were awake when it happened.
And every night, this force just seems to be getting more ballsy.
Yeah.
You know. And there's something to be said too. He was like, "Were we hypnotized to stay there?"
Yeah.
I mean, dude, if I woke up and everyone had like a matching kind of tattoo type thing, everyone's groggy, like, man, you have to be hypnotized.
Something.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's that naturally like and openly and directly stubborn at this point. I think there's something affecting. But you want to know what's awesome? They still go out morel hunt during the day.
Well, it didn't say that on that last day though.
Maybe not on the last day,
Yeah.
but throughout the rest of the trip, when they were having these off-putting experiences, they still were fucking morel hunting. Props. Aliens couldn't even stop these dudes from morel hunting. Power of a tasty morel. We woke up the next morning, sprawled across the camp. Sean was 20 feet from his tent. My dad was laying near his tent, but his hat's missing. My sleeping bag was still zipped in the tent, but I was outside of it. This time, we didn't talk. We packed up, and we packed up fast. We don't talk about that last night much. We never really tried to remember. I don't know if it was out of fear or what we might remember, or if there's something not letting us remember. I don't really want to know. Back home, we checked our phones, we checked our watches, our GPS trackers. There were gaps, hours of missing data. The photos and videos we'd taken that week were all corrupted. Whole days just gone from our memory. We didn't report it. Who the hell would believe us? But we all came back marked, not just physically. I don't sleep right anymore. We don't go back to the burns. That was our last hunt.
Oh.
I mean, shit.
Yeah, that's really not good. I don't like what happened that last night.
So you're saying that this spot, you don't hunt anymore? Give us the GPS on that, bro.
Are you sure about that?
I mean, it's a good morel spot. Plus, we can get matching tattoos, or matching marks with Dave. Be like a brotherhood thing.
Yeah, I
A
don't know.
morel's a morel, bro. You think a fishing hole has a lure?
I don't know though. That whatever happened to last night, it didn't even.
I mean, stay strapped and bring a perforated sack. It's morel season. That's creepy, to say the least.
That is creepy. I'm just wondering what happened that. And
I don't know. Yeah, Dave, is there
I'm
any?
not even. Don't even want to, like he says, he doesn't want to. It's like he doesn't even want to remember.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if Dave, if you're watching the episode, man, let us know. Has anything ever come from the markings that you ended up walking away with?
Oh yeah, did they go away?
Yeah.
They're like little burns almost.
Yeah. Yeah. In time, have they ever become inflamed or had any like sort of pain attached to them later on? There's a plethora of questions that I would like to ask about that. Strange. Do you have any cognitive memory of what it was? Do you have any memories at all? We would like to know here on the Near Death Diary. So that was a UFO. That's what I would take away
yeah.
from it.
I'd say you're abducted at least once, if not
Yeah,
twice.
that was that was a first, and that was creepy.
Creepy. Because I imagine like being out there and just
like AEP or something, have that happen. Yeah, yeah, man. But he did get a bunch of tasty morcellas, which makes everything worth it in the end. I'm sure Dave is literally at home like, yep.
yep, got him.
There is nothing like getting a morel. It's the best feeling on planet Earth. Really is. Well, holy crap. What an adventure tonight was around the internet campfire.
I'd also wonder if the first when they got the marks, he said the memory was all like peaceful, or their dreams were. And
Yeah, he said he didn't feel threatened.
No, and they were peaceful, and he had like, what was it? Vision of the gray figures. Or almost
Something like that. It was like long gray, black, yeah, something like that.
So we could get like an illustration of what that looked like exactly.
It said, somewhere dark but peaceful, surrounded by the long, graceful shadows moving past us like fish underwater.
Long, graceful shadows?
Mm-hmm. Is what was said. I don't know if he was talking about like entities, or if he was just talking about maybe that was just his like. It seems like the patchy, just putting it back together, like the best his brain could.
Fractured memory, if it's a memory, if it's not an.
I would say whatever. I would say whatever was messing with them. They probably had a profound impact on their memory, and all of that. Because, like you said, he felt like he doesn't know if he was hypnotized. And then another thing he said,
they wanted to leave but couldn't.
Mm-hmm. And then he didn't know if he was just struggling to remember, or if something was preventing him. Like it's like a common thread there. But man, what do you guys think in the comment section? Let us know. And in live chat, would you consider that UFO? That's what I'm going with. Or what is it now? It's no longer UFO because they have to change shit. What is it now? An unidentified like aerial phenomenon is what they call it.
Fuck them. It's a UFO.
Yeah, no shit, right?
We're not changing shit.
Right? Yeah.
We're not
on this
Mandela
channel.
affecting this whole fucking world.
Yeah, hell nah. Hell nah. But 3 spooky stories. One of them from another country. Holy crap, can we get a round of applause for the Hellfire Holler Boys? We are international. We're telling international campfire stories.
Yes.
Well, Cody, what's your takeaway, man?
Guess I'd hope that Kayla hasn't seen that wet man anymore, the Shusher. And then hope Bob is still doing good and hasn't heard any more voices. And if he has, maybe just go straight to this shaman and get some help or advice.
Yeah, I think you're special, man.
Yeah, I would say whatever thought you were a protective enough to come forth to try to get help from you.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, it worked. So
absolutely. So yeah, the Shusher, to recap, strange, weird,
very strange, very
wet.
weird. I'd say keep an eye out on whenever there's a thunderstorm. I don't know why I just sensed like that with it being wet and it being a thunderstorm outside. I think has a correlation, and so that could be a possible time when it would be active.
Yeah. And then Bob, man, God bless you. Thank you for your service. I hope the VA's treating you well, brother. I think what you're doing is absolutely incredible, and so do the dead apparently. So good for you, my friend. And then Mr. Dave, man, what a crazy story. We'd love to hear more about that. We'd love to hear, have you guys talked any more since? Have you guys all like came together and had any discussion about what you experienced that night afterwards?
And is there any pictures of the marks?
Yeah.
Any of the corrupted? Well, I guess if they're all corrupted, maybe not.
Yeah. But if you feel comfortable and you want to share in, we'll put those on our Patreon, and we'll show people those marks that you got. If you're comfortable. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to the Near Death Diary. We really, really appreciate you guys coming by. This community is building rather quick, and it really has everything to do with you guys. So share, like, repost, subscribe, do all of the above. If you guys think that you have friends that would really, really enjoy our podcast, please turn them on to it, man. We would love to outreach further, because when we do that, we're going to be able to bring you guys better content, So thank you. If you'd like to join our Patreon, it is Deadeye Two Tongues 740. That will be featured at the very end of our video here as we give homage to all of the people who have joined and pledged on our Patreon. You guys are truly making a difference here at the Hellfire Holler Studio. We really, really appreciate each and every one of you guys. And my deepest, sincerest thank you. I absolutely love each and every one of you guys, and the fact that you give us some of your hard-earned money so we can make you guys content. We hope that we do right by y'all. So, Cody, any closing statement?
If you got any stories of your own, or know of anybody who's got stories, maybe contact them and have them email us.
Yeah, absolutely. You can email us at hellfirehollerpodcast@gmail.com. You're such an ass. Anyway, we love you guys. Thank you so much for stopping in the Near Death Diary. Twice? I gotta go. Love y'all.